You'll also need to choose a lining for your drapery panels, and you've got a couple of different options. The first option is a regular lining. This is a cotton sateen lining, and the other option is a blackout lining. I really like using the blackout lining because it helps give you the true colors of the drapery fabric. When the sunlight shines through it, it does not fade out the fabric. I'm going to show you a quick little demonstration to show you what I mean. We're going to use the lamp as our sunlight. I'm going to hold this up here. So you can see on this side, we've got the blackout lining, and on this side, we have just the regular lining. And you can see how it fades out in the sunlight. So I would recommend a good quality drapery lining, either regular or blackout, whichever you prefer. And I've provided a form so that you can use the figures that you've come up with to figure out your drapery lining yardages.
Next, we're going to figure out how much lining we need for our drapery panels. How many yards of lining? First, we're going to determine our lining cuts. By taking the finished length, we add in the 4-inch hem allowance. Most of my lining hems are double 2-inch hems, so I need to allow 4 inches. Then you add in the size of your buckram, and then that total is your lining cut length. For our example, our finished length is 34 inches. We're going to add in 4 inches for the hem and 4 inches for the buckram. The total is 42 inches for our cut length. Next, we're going to figure the number of cuts needed, and this will always be the same number of cuts that you figured for your fabric. So we know we need 3 cuts of lining because we figured we need 3 cuts of fabric. Next, to determine the lining yardage, you would take the number of cuts, multiply it by the cut length, and that total would be divided by 36 inches to give you the number of yards of lining that you need. In our example, our number of cuts is 3, and we multiply that by our cut length of 42 inches. The total of that is 126 inches divided by 36 inches, and we get 3.5 yards of lining that we're going to need for our drapery panels.
After you've figured out the yardages that you need for your lining, then cut out your lining widths. I've cut my 3 widths of lining, the measurement that I needed, which was 42 inches. All 3 of the pieces of lining, I've marked again the top right corner, and then on the 3rd width of lining, I've also put a pin for my half widths. So just like I did for the face fabric, I'll take this top width, fold it over, cut on the fold line, and then I'll place the widths on either side of my full widths of lining, just like I did for the face fabric. Once you have your linings cut and your seams pinned, then you need to sew the seams of the lining together. Now that we've got our widths of lining sewed together, we're going to put the bottom hem in, and we're going to do a double 2-inch hem on the lining. On the face fabric, we did a double 4-inch hem. We folded up 8 and then 4 inches. On the lining, we're doing a double 2-inch hem, so we're going to fold up 4 inches. And again, if you've got lines on your table, that's great. If you don't, just use a ruler and measure 4 inches all the way down. Then we're going to iron that. And once we've got that ironed, we're going to fold the fabric in. So here's the 4 inches. I'm going to fold it in so that the top edge of the lining is right in that crease, and then that gives us our nice 2-inch hem, and I'm going to iron that. Once you have the hem ironed in, then simply pin the hem in place all the way down the length of the panel. I already talked to you about different hemming options when we did our face fabric hem. So you can use the same technique that you used for the face fabric bottom hem on the lining.